Hi everyone, and welcome to our last video of the program options series from Medical Specialty Billing and Technology. So here we are back with version 22 of Medisoft, and this will be the last video of the program options for the Medisoft billing side of it. So under the program options, we went through the general data entry, payment applications, agings, and HIPAA. Now let's go through the color coding, billing, audit, and BillFlash tabs. So under the color coding tab, this allows you to set flags for certain things in your Medisoft system. So in the transaction screen, as you see to the far left, you can set the option of whether you want to use color coding. And if you decide to use that, this box needs to be checked. Beneath that box shows what the color coding would be used for. You can alter these colors. These are just default colors. But if the patient has no payment or no payment has been made, gray will be the color here. If you want to change it to yellow, by all means change it to yellow. For example purpose, this gray. If a patient partially paid for a service or the insurance partially paid, that patient will be highlighted in aqua. If there was an overpaid charge, it will be yellow. Partially applied payment blue. Unapplied payment red, and over applied payment is fuchsia. Now again, you can alter these colors. These are just the default colors that are there, but make sure your office knows what the colors mean. Over here under patient, so this will be when the actual patient name or the patient section will be highlighted. This is based on transactions, like charges, line by line. This is based on the actual patient. So if you have this box checked, it will use these colors at the bottom. So if the patient is in gray, that means an auto accident. If the patient is in blue, it's an HMO patient. If the patient is olive, no insurance. Now you may want to change this to any color you would like. However, I know that many people still use red for a delinquent account, meaning that patient owes you. It kind of is something that labels the patient so that the office is aware. None of this information goes over to the insurance companies or to the patients if you print it out. At the bottom of the field, it has patient quick entry. This will be where you can actually set colors if you wanted certain fields to highlight under the quick entry field, or you can leave it blank and it will not apply at all. Under the billing tab, this is the first section is relation to your statements. If you're doing cycle billing, which is typically every 30 days. Some offices do every 15 days. Some people do the 15th and 30th of the month. So you can determine. So if you want to use cycle billing, you need to put in the amount of days that you want that billing to happen on. So every 30 days, the statement will do if you chose every 30 days. Every 15 days will be the balances reflecting on the patient statements. If you want the standard statement with detail, which breaks down like the date the patient came in, what the codes were, how much they were, but it gives them a detail, not just basically, John Smith came in on this date, they were seen, and the balance is $30. The detail gives them a little bit more information, what they were diagnosed, the diagnosis code, procedure codes, the amount, line by line. And the same with the remainder statement detail only. If you want the details on the actual information, you will need to check that box. Add copays to remainder statements. Some offices will bill for copays, some offices will not. If your office does bill for copays, you want to make sure you check that box. In the billing notes, if you want to create statement billing notes, for example, some people have things like please remit payment to the office, or please call the office if you have any questions. Others, they don't use this, and it's basically just, here's your bill, and there's an address listed already on the actual invoice, and you pay it. There's no special notes. Create claim billing notes is basically if you're sending notes over with the insurance claim to the actual payer. You'll need to have that box checked, and then this will be the code that you will use that says it'll be claimed. This is what they created, the system, but you can create your own code if you would like. But basically, when you see claim, that's just basically a billing note. When you saw the word statement, that's saying that it's a statement note going over with it. The quick formats, use statement management for quick formats. If you have that box checked, these fields will be optional. Like basically if you want statements information printed on your walkout receipts, which statement format would you like to be used as your default? So do you prefer the new patient statement that shows maybe 30, 60, 90 days, or all payment induction statements. So you really have to verify what's good for your office by just trying out some of these reports. Face sheets, if your office uses face sheets, what information do you want to be the default for your face sheets? And then also you have the quick list as well. Quick list will be your automatically go-to default list. Let me change this back to let me just delete this out so that it doesn't. I'll do claim list, that'll be easier. And then the audit tab. Okay, so this is when preferably a manager or supervisor would do. Basically, if there's something that goes wrong in the system and everyone is like, I didn't do it. If you have all of these boxes checked, what you can do is just come here and it'll do an audit. It'll run through the system and find the error, and it will link who's ever logged in who completed that error to the error on the actual system, and then you'll get a report as a manager that shows that Becky on January 1st actually entered in an additional payment that she shouldn't have entered. If you do check all, the system will check all of these areas for errors. If you want certain incidents, like you just want to see who did a procedure code, you can check just that, and it'll look for any procedure codes entered in incorrectly and give you the exact person who did it. Now, BillFlash is a tab that you would only deal with or mess with if you have BillFlash included in your Medisoft. BillFlash is an additional service. BillFlash is a statement service. So basically, whatever information you put in here will go over to BillFlash. BillFlash is an actual third party that will do your statements for you, so your office does not have to do them. Basically, it will get your information. It hooks to your system. It will pull up your cycle billing or your every 15-day billing. It will print the statements out. It will mail them out for you, and it will also send them electronically for a fee. It is an additional fee to Medisoft, but it is actually linking with your Medisoft if you decide to go with that. So now let's look a little bit. I want to show you an example of what the color coding would be. Let me save this to make sure I did not mess anything else up. So let's pull up a patient here in our transaction screen. Let's see if I can find one that has. Okay. So this one is turquoise. So if we're ever wondering, I'm sorry, I clicked the wrong button here. So this one is turquoise. So if we didn't remember what turquoise was, then we can also go back to our file program options, and we can go back over to our color coding tab, and notice that turquoise means that the payment is partially paid. Again, this is in the transaction aspect of it. Now, being that this patient's name is highlighted in dark blue over it means that it's a capitation patient. Okay, so this is different ways to look at it. So if I choose a different patient, let's see, Jane Doe, okay, she has the turquoise, which means partially paid. But what was her actual, why is her name highlighted in green? So if we go back to program options and we look at our green, she's a special needs patient. So will you remember these every last color out for the top of your head? Probably not. But there are a couple that you will become more familiar with, like, HMO patients, patients who have auto accidents, things of that nature. You'll remember those colors. Just make sure that your office is aware of them. And if someone is new and they don't remember, have them go to the program options and kind of get familiar with the actual codes. It's not a hard process. So we have finished our video or our series on program options in Medisoft version 22. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me in the information below at the bottom of the screen. You can also go to our website at www.msbnt.com. You go to our YouTube page, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Please look forward to our next videos that are coming up. We're going to go further into Medisoft version 22. Thank you.